Leah McGrath of GovRamp. It's great to see you. Thanks for joining me again. You're making progress, it sounds like, in incorporating these processes and procedures into the actual contracts. Tell me about that progress, how you've made it, and what difference you're seeing it make.
Oh, it's been tremendous. So, GovRamp, we've had our security program, and we have 30 states now, a few more actually, 30 plus, who are working with us to leverage GovRamp to validate their third-party security of their providers. And that's so important in the partnerships and enabling innovation to happen. What we realized pretty early on is that if those requirements are not incorporated into the contracts, the procurement up front, and those terms and conditions, then it's just pretty words on a paper. And so we've really spent quite a bit of time in the last couple of years working with NASPO, the National Association for State Procurement Officials, with the Center for Digital Government, to bring everyone together. And so through those task forces, we were able to come up with a best practices, a procurement toolkit that really helps identify how to do this, right? And we know that not all data has the same risk, so we've been able to really provide kind of different clauses, different ideas or concepts for how to incorporate it, the requirements in based on what they need when. And that has been very critical to this. So some examples of this being put into action: just in July this month of 2025, we've seen the state of Arizona and the state of Utah go live with these new requirements in their T's and C's, and we have many others happening as well that we're excited about who are following suit. So for those who are questioning what that looks like, we do have that on our website at govramp.org, but we also then point to those contracts, terms, and conditions from there so people can see, what does this look like when you put it into action? Mm-hmm. We have an ongoing procurement committee where we bring public sector and industry together to continuously look at that, to think about how's it working in the real world, what are the pains and challenges, and how do we continue to improve that so that others can benefit from that shared insight.
What's the benefit that you have by being able to point to the FedRAMP program and say, this is how it's working at the federal level, and these are the good results they're getting, and this is why this is something that makes sense for you at the state level?
Oh, that's a great question. It's really been about how do we enable innovation to happen in government faster? That's the question we're trying to answer, and I think that's what FedRAMP has been able to do in many cases, and I think that's what we have been able to do largely in part of our community. We have an incredible community. We're nonprofit, so we're different. And that actually has been to our advantage because we're able to bring all of the voices in the community together, from industry to, government at, all levels of government, to understand what's working for them, what's not. How can we take the positive outcomes of the FedRAMP program and learn from that to incorporate it into what we do, to be able to enable secure innovation to happen faster. One of the things that we learned, though, that's different in state and local government and education sector certainly, is that many of the providers who serve them, the cloud technologies that are being utilized, are not always ready for the full authorization. And so we've developed, I like to say, kind of a starter place to begin with our Snapshot program, and we just rolled out a new core status that is a step that providers can take before they move on to that full authorization. And that has been a game changer. We've incorporated that into the procurement as well to continue to provide that transparency very early into the security posture of a product so that states and local government leaders can make the right risk-based decisions for them. And then they can decide how much, how far they need a provider to go.
About 30 seconds left. I imagine that community concept that you talked about means that information's flowing the other way too, that you're learning things that the FedRAMP program can benefit from.
I think that's very true. And I think we've actually seen some of that iterate over the last few years even, as they formalized some of the committees and the input. I think some of the learnings that we've had is how important it is to be agile, how important it is to iterate. I like to say we innovate through iteration. And all of that comes through the community feedbacks from the industry, from public sector. And so one of the things that I think has been core that we've learned that can be kind of transferred up, is the shared learnings, that it is not a one and done, right? That we have a centralized portal that allows our private sector members to share their continuous monitoring reporting ongoing all the time with their government sector or their government customers. And we have a continuous monitoring escalation policy because government customers don't want to log in every day and see what's going on, right? But they do want to log in if there's an indication of an issue or a change. And so we can notify them so that they can log in and take action when needed. And that has been such a cool partnership and collaboration between all of the stakeholders to make happen.
Leah, it's great to talk to you again. Thanks for your time today.
You too.